SmackDown Hot Takes, where I take your thoughts, your opinions, your hot takes, if you will, for the previous episode of SmackDown, Raw, and PLEs. Let's go in hot today because it is 5 a.m. I need to get to work, but if you are joining me in the morning, good morning. If you're joining me in the evening, good evening. Alex Johnson, Tiffany Stratton's double swerved us during the match and after the match. Oh my God, she did. I was so convinced that she was going to cash in, and then they totally swerved me thinking she wasn't going to cash in. I was so mad. That's how good Triple H is. He gives us what we expect in a very unexpected way, because I was so ready and so knew that 3-hour SmackDown, first of the year, this was the time to pull the trigger. And then she comes out and I'm like, yep, I was right. And then she helps Nia and I'm like, well, guess I was wrong. And I was so mad. I was like, they're dragging this on further. And then I was right because she cashes in, and they did it in a way that everybody looked great, strong, and smart. We had Naomi taken out with the briefcase. We had Nia getting the finishing move from Bianca, who's top tier. We have Bianca then being surprised and taken out by Tiffany. And then we have Tiffany cashing in. So everybody looks good. Nia can have a claim that she lost because of Bianca. Tiffany outsmarted everybody. Bianca was surprised. Naomi, a foreign object hitter. Everybody looked strong, and it was so good. The crowd popped. It was 100% Tiffy time. Roman Reigns acknowledged me. Tiffy Time cash-in made me feel how I felt when Jay won the Intercontinental title. I was so hyped. Yeah, it was definitely up there. I was pumped. This was the most excited I've been for a women's cash-in forever. Like, this might have been the most excited I've been. Now, I do feel they waited too long, and I feel like it should have happened at Crown Jewel or something, but I gotta say, I felt all the emotions that I felt that I probably should have. I was surprised, I was happy, I was excited, I was satisfied. So, I don't know, did he wait too long? I don't care. Let's not even have that conversation. Right now, let's just focus on how awesome it was. They finally crowned Tiffany, and well-deserved. Great job, Tiffany. You have been just a banger of a wrestler throughout 2024, and I cannot wait to see you as the women's champion in 2025. Awesome cash-in. Definitely shades of Jey Uso's win. Damian King, 42. Drew hugging Cody, laughing face emoji. Yeah, so when Drew came out, I was like, oh gosh, here we go. Cody is on the hit list because, well, Cody did team with Roman at Bad Blood. Kind of got the ball rolling on people teaming up with Roman again. So I thought Drew was just going to come on and add him to the list. And yet, he hugged him? That was very, very much not expected. That was probably the last thing I expected, actually. A hug. And it was hilarious because it was just so awkward and everything. And then he spoke a lot of truth, and he seemed to be extending an olive branch. But I don't know. Was he just setting up Cody? Because eventually he said, watch your back. And then Cody got beat up and he didn't help him. However, Cody, before that, did show that he didn't want any help from Drew. He didn't believe Drew, so why would Drew help him? I don't know. I do think that Drew was talking to Kevin beforehand, but I don't know. He hugged him. He did hug him, and they do go back, too. They do go back. So what if Drew was trying to reach out to Cody and say, hey man, this is your last chance. Pick a side because a war is coming. And so that hug was a way, because they were tag team champions together in the past. Drew made it felt like he owed him something, and this could have been the last opportunity before he's like, fine, you wanna make your bed? Well, you and Kevin can go at it because Kevin's on my side. I don't know. We'll see. That's definitely, we got more to come from that one. D's 1, 2, 4, 5, 8. Tiffany's cash-in was great. However, I am a little scared on if they can properly pivot her character now that she's been chasing the championship for so long. I think they will. I think Tiffany actually had to change her character because she was very, she felt like when she came up to NXT, she was very established. She knew and was confident in who she was. And I feel the Money in the Bank actually made her lose her confidence. So I say just bring her back to what brought her to the dance. I really think that she doesn't need to be chasing the championship for her character. She can be champion. She can just be this like I'm better than all of you people. However, though, she does have to change a little bit in that I think she's a face. I think she's a natural face right now with the crowd, and I hope they don't force her to be a heel because she's great as a heel, but right now we want to cheer her. And Tiffany won her first championship, but who's going to win the first Wrestle Chop championship? Could be you. That's right, you could win this. But how, Mr. Chop, do we do that? Well, all you gotta do is comment below. And then you also gotta subscribe. And you also gotta hit the bell notification. And if you're so kind, you'd give me a thumbs up. That would help the algorithm know that this is a good wrestling channel for good wrestling fans. So I would appreciate it. I'm on my quest for 10,000 subscribers. We're 3/4 there. What will I do at 10,000 subscribers? Well, that's when I give away the belt. Random comment, random video, give away the belt, free of charge, anywhere in the world. That's right, trying to quit the day job. That's right, if my boss is watching, sorry boss, I'm trying to quit the day job. I want to do wrestling content full time. That is the dream. That is the calling. Please help me out. Comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Next hot take. Vanessa Williams, 19. Drew is just using Cody. He's going after everyone who teamed with Roman Reigns. Means he's going after Cody Rhodes for teaming up with Bad Blood with Roman Reigns. And there you go. It's kind of like what I just said. And if he doesn't go after Cody, if he's just like, well, Bad Blood was just a one-off, well, that would be a plot hole. I do hope they address it. I do really hope they address it. I would love for a Drew McIntyre Cody fight matchup. In fact, Drew McIntyre is one of the few people who has a win on Cody since he's returned. The only other people in a singles match to beat Cody: Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, Drew McIntyre. Roman Reigns acknowledged me. This was an all-time SmackDown. What a start to the new year. The first episode of USA. I'm so happy we're back to 3 hours. Well, SmackDown was never 3 hours, but I get what you're saying. Raw was. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little fatigued by the end, but that's also because, just real life stuff and whatever. I think it was a very good episode. There's lots of pros and there are cons with it too. I mean, 6 hours of wrestling is a lot to digest, but it seems like the majority of people are just like pumped about more wrestling, and that's good. That's how healthy wrestling is. I still have like flashbacks of just Raw Underground. The good thing is though, teams like Pretty Deadly in the tag division, they got actual story. We'll go another from Roman Reigns. Acknowledge me. Hot take: Jay and the Usos entrance should have been longer. LOL, I was yeeting all over the place. Yeah, it is fun to yeet, but that's a hot take. It should have went longer. I think from the moment Solo entered the camera screen to the match starting, it was like 13 minutes. And that's the downfall. To me, that's the downfall. You wanted that to go longer. It was 13 minutes. That's the downfall of a 3-hour SmackDown. In that, come on. I feel we dragged some of the entrances out just a little too much. Cam Nami, finally, they took the belt off Nia. Her loss ratio of late made her look weak. Yeah, unfortunately, Nia had an amazing 2024 up until October. And then, well, she lost 7 times. You cannot book your champion to lose 7 times. I am sorry. I don't care. Tag match, singles match, but she had a combination of them all. She had 3 losses in singles, 3 losses in a tag match, and then she also lost War Games. So it's like, come on, the belt needed to be off her, and I'm just so happy that Tiffany got it. That said, Chris Gutierrez, I never thought I would say this, but let's give Nia Jax her props. She was a phenomenal champion. I do feel she was a great champion. I just hate that they made her lose so much at the end. But that said, this last match of her championship run was a really good one. I do think she might have botched the Annihilator at the end, but everything else was great and amazing, and I'm glad that she had a really good match to hang her hat on, the one that she lost her title with. TTJC, Pretty Deadly is low-key my favorite tag team right now. I hope they get the heel push they deserve. Oh my god, they are so funny. They are hilarious, going backstage, doing everything. I'm loving Pretty Deadly. Just just great stuff there. And again, this is one of the benefits, one of the biggest benefit of a 3-hour SmackDown is a team like Pretty Deadly. They're going to be like, okay, fine, we got 10 minutes to fill. Let's see if those guys can do it. And so far, they've been doing an awesome, amazing job. Jeff, Dalton, Drew, or Seth versus Cody for the WWE Championship should happen at WrestleMania. I agree that is a WrestleMania match, but I don't see it in the cards. But the great thing is, there are so many ways that everybody they can come together into a match and then leave into other matches and then come back. So, honestly, this road to WrestleMania, if The Rock actually does not appear, there are so many possibilities. Even if The Rock does, there are still a lot of possibilities. But if The Rock, the rumors are true and he's not showing, which I don't believe, I think he will be there. But if he isn't, well then, Drew versus Cody definitely could happen. But everybody's saying it's going to be Cody versus Cena on that. Whew, I don't know if Cody can survive. The smartest idiot, Solo's aura today was different. He is winning on Monday. I think he's winning too. I really think he's winning. And it's not because I want Roman to lose, but it's because if you look at the grand storyline, it's like, if Roman wins and he gets the Ula Fala bag, then what? But if he loses, well, there's a lot more meat on the bone if he loses. Again, I don't necessarily want him to lose, but what happens to Solo if Solo loses? Well, then he just goes on his own. Roman can survive without the bloodline. Can Solo? Eventually, yes, Solo can. And I think he would. I think he could somehow, some way claw his way back up. But as of right now, if they want Solo to just continue on this path of main eventer at a very fast rate, he kind of needs to win, and I'm thinking he's kind of gonna win. Jay and Love, I missed the live stream. Don't worry about it. It happens. We'll see you next week. I wasn't feeling the 3-hour format, and SmackDown wasn't that good tonight outside of the cash-in. I'm guessing it's just going to take some time to get used to. Yeah, that's what I'm saying right here. I wasn't feeling it for the most part in that I was just getting tired and fatigued, and it's not because I don't like wrestling. It's just 3 hours is a long time. We just got to get used to it again. We were just, we've been given 2-hour format. That's easy to digest, but 3 hours, and people are loving it. People are loving it. I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying I got to get used to it. I'm tired. I have to work. I have to work during the day. I have to work the next morning, and I got 3 hours. Not complaining, maybe a little complaining, but yeah, the Tiffany cash-in was great. We just got to get used to it. We'll see you on the live stream next week. Green Bean 8359. We honestly all should be more like Apollo. Laughing face emojis. Apollo Stooge. We should be like Apollo Stooge. He just should be happy that he's getting some airtime. Pro Gamer RKO. Now that Tiffany has won the women's championship, she needs a feud with Charlotte to elevate her career. A lot of people want to see that. They pretty much see Tiffany as the second coming of Charlotte Flair. I don't want to see that just yet. I don't hate Charlotte, but I do think she very much wants to look as strong as possible. And all wrestlers should want to do that, but I think maybe Charlotte wants it a little more because it seems like she puts her wins over careers of other people, because in all honesty, I feel that Charlotte should have lost to Asuka the first time they fought, and I feel that she should have lost to Rhea the first time they fought. So I would hate for this really good feud to happen just for Tiffany to lose. I don't want Tiffany to lose momentum. So maybe in year 2, maybe in 2026 they can have their feud. Continuing from Programmer, Roman has to beat Solo Sikoa to be the chief, but something in me wants Sikoa to win, but my prediction is Roman winning. There is starting to be a turn that people are starting to want Solo to win. KB in the live chat yesterday was like, I can't believe so many people want the OTC to lose. I'm not sure, though, if people want Roman to lose as much as they don't want Solo to lose. Again, if Solo loses, where do we go from here with him? Roman strong. He can survive on his own. can Solo right now? I'm not talking about can Solo have a good career. I'm talking about Solo Sikoa right now. Can he survive if he loses Monday? And then if he loses Monday, yeah, Jacob can go on his own for sure. But what about Tama Tonga? I am really liking Tama Tonga right now, and I'm afraid that if Solo lost, the real loser would be Tama Tonga. Vanessa Williams, Solo stole the Ula Fala. It's earned, not taken. Kind of, it was a very interesting Paul Heyman promo tonight where he literally said, we were grooming Solo Sikoa. We chose him to be the chief. And I don't know, yes, they did say he stole the Ula Fala when Roman wasn't looking, kind of took it out of his bag, but I don't know, sometimes Corey Graves made a good analogy on commentary. Sometimes the young lion has to go for it. The young lion has to fight for the title. Just like Vince McMahon needed to be pushed out the door, maybe Solo Sikoa was thinking, well, Roman lost at Mania. Maybe he needs to be pushed out the door now. And I'm not saying that's I believe in that, but storyline purpose, you could say that Solo Sikoa in his mind was doing the greater good. Joe Litton, all the way from Morocco, I feel like if Solo loses on Tribal Combat, the Bloodline saga is over because who will step up and face Roman Reigns? You'll say The Rock? Well, he's a part-timer. Same for Roman. I hope Solo wins. And yeah, where does the Bloodline go from here? Now, I thought, not gonna lie, myself, I thought the Bloodline saga was over when Solo lost at Bad Blood. I was like, oh man, how do they recover? So I trust that they can recover. I just don't see how. And I think it's more logical right now for Solo to continue on with Ula Fala. Roman can get it back later. Somehow, some way, they can make it happen. Don't forget, just because they say that this is for the Ula Fala and it's the last time they can meet or whatever, Rock versus John Cena was once in a lifetime until the following year they had a rematch. They can always write themselves back to the same exact match with the same exact stipulation. Tis Mickey, as much as I love Roman Reigns, Solo is really starting to grow on me. I'm actually kind of starting to hope he wins. He probably won't, but I'm wondering where the story would go if Roman wins. There seems like a better story could be told if Solo wins. And there you have it. That pretty much sums up everything. Let me tell you something. Tis Mickey, she is a huge Roman Reigns fan, and for her to say that Solo is starting to win her over, that's a big deal, and I think that's a very good litmus test for a lot of the WWE viewing universe, in that Solo has started to win people over. People are starting to kind of hope he wins, and she says, what happens if he loses? Very, very telling comment right there. Candy Marmain, Jacob Fatu should have been in Solo Sikoa's position. Solo Sikoa has nothing to offer. No matter how many top guy Solo beats, he will always be a mid-card. So it looks like Candy Marmain hasn't been won over. That's a valid opinion too. Tiz Mickey's opinion is valid. Your opinion is valid. I tend to side with Tiz Mickey in that I'm liking Solo Sikoa. And listen, Solo Sikoa will never rise above mid-card if we don't try. And I feel they put in so much time and effort, and I personally feel he's been rising to the occasion. Do I see him as a total main eventer right now? No, I don't, but I see it happening. I can see him growing into that role as we speak. So I hope you are wrong, but your opinion is heard, Candy Marmain. Thank you for sharing it. And in regards to it should have been Jacob, I would have rather it have been Jacob in the beginning of everything, but I also understand why it didn't happen, and we were in a situation where it couldn't happen. So, yeah, it would be great, but there's no sense in talking about it because there was nothing creative holding Jacob back at the time. It was all real-world circumstances on the logistics and contracts and just, I don't know, even Jacob Fatu's past, who was in charge, all these things. I don't think they chose Solo over Jacob because they were like, oh, Solo's more talented. It was literally because Jacob wasn't in the company when they needed an enforcer. Tiz Mickey, Team Crash Out is coming. We got Drew and Kevin on the same show. We will soon get Seth after he loses to Punk. Yeah, Team Crash Out. That they could be called that. Drew McIntyre, he's Nick Fury right now. He is gathering his Avengers to go after the Bloodline. Nacho Cheese, Piper Niven should dethrone Chelsea Green after a few months into her title reign. I wouldn't mind that. I do love those two as a pair though, so I would hate for them to break up. But eventually, all good things come to an end. Every relationship in wrestling must eventually end up in a match against each other, so Chelsea Green would be a good payoff. I would hate for them to do another Chad Gable and Otis thing where they don't pay it off until like it's start stop feud. If Chelsea Green's gonna lose, let her have a strong run and fine, give it to Piper Niven when it's all said and done. I'm okay with that statement. Judy Angela Jetson, I think I missed something. Why is Roman vs. Solo happening on Raw next week instead of SmackDown? I love that you asked that because why is it? These are two SmackDown guys. Why is it on Raw? They could have made up something. They could have said something, but nope, it's just on Raw. They could have even just said, you know what, the premiere, we gotta be there. But they're just doing it there. Why in any world would Nick Aldis allow a marquee match like that be on Netflix? It makes no sense, and they didn't explain it. I think they don't explain it because there wasn't a way to make it make sense, so they're just like, shh. Maybe no one will notice. She also gives credit for Solo getting to hype the match up. I was impressed that he wants Paul Heyman back. That actually makes me think that he's going to win even more because now we can get Paul Heyman back full time. Again, Roman doesn't need the Bloodline and he doesn't need Paul Heyman either. We love Paul, but Paul's a natural heel and Paul can slowly get in the graces of Solo Sikoa as his tribal chief. I'm liking that. And I'm okay with the 3-hour format. Good show overall. A lot of people still like the 3-hour format. God is good. I think Solo being underestimated is his biggest strength when it comes to this Monday because the moment you think Solo isn't a threat or isn't dangerous, he will strike and catch you off guard. A lot of times, that is what happened with Solo. Everybody thinks, oh, this is just a wannabe tribal chief, and then Jacob Fatu comes out of nowhere. Oh, this is just a wannabe tribal chief. And then he pins you at Crown Jewel. Solo Sikoa is not to be taken lightly. And I believe that to be 100% true. And don't forget, at the end of the day, Roman Reigns ain't going to be here forever. And Solo Sikoa, he's got a long career ahead of him. So whether you like it or not, they kind of need someone to replace Roman. And Solo's in a prime spot to do so. Chris Gutierrez, I'm so tired of the Bloodline main eventing shows just because they're the Bloodline. Why wasn't the cash-in the main event? That's a valid point. That is a valid point. I would say, though, for this instance, though, it's a little more unpredictable to have the cash-in anywhere on the card, but even more so, I would say this, we got Netflix coming up. We have Roman versus Solo as a marquee match, and the Bloodline match tonight kind of set that up. So it was more so of sending people home with Netflix on our mind. So that was probably the real reason tonight. Rafael Adiai from Ghana. So we got Ghana and Morocco plus Houston today here on the channel. Where are you guys from if you're so inclined to answer? We got number 1, 3-hour SmackDown was awesome. They have a roster that will make 3 hours worth it. 8 out of 10 for me. Yeah, you know what? I just got to get a little more used to it, but I'm going to be on board the 3-hour train soon enough, but it was a decent show. It was a decent show, especially for 3 hours. Number 2, I can see Drew teaming up with KO against the Bloodline. The crash out will be entertaining to watch. Yes, I think the red herring was hugging Cody Rhodes, just setting up a KO attack. Drew, KO, Seth Rollins, and hopefully Randy Orton creating a new stable of just we hate Roman stable. Number 3, Tiffy Time didn't disappoint. Papa H knew exactly what he was doing, and the cash-in still got over. I do feel that Papa H overcooked it just a little. Should have happened at War Games. Should have happened at Crown Jewel. Maybe he thought that it would create it would open a can of worms to allow it to happen in matches like that. So whatever. It happened. I'm satisfied. That was an all-timer cash-in. Plot twist. Loved it. Number 4, Jacob Fatu stole the show in the awesome 6-man tag match. He is so over that everyone says, I love you solo with him. I want more Jacob. Yes, I could use more Jacob in my life. I could use more I love you solo in my life. And yes, great stuff there. Although I'll say this, I thought Tama Tonga actually stole the show for me. He was just like, there was one point when he was just like hitting Sami Zayn. I was like, dude, calm down. What happened? Does he owe you money? It was like intense. And Tama Tonga, low key to me, is like, he's climbing the ranks of one of my favorites. A very unsung hero of the bloodline. Jamie K, I don't understand Jacob Fatu's booking. Commentary talks about him like he's the second coming of Brock Lesnar in his prime, yet he's being handled relatively normal in matches. I'm just not buying that he's a beast. He acts all crazy and then gets dropped by 2 super kicks like everybody else. Valid point. When he came in, he was the second coming of Brock Lesnar. He beat down Cody, Randy, KO, who were all faces at the time, and those were your 3 top faces. So yes, that was like, oh my God. But as time went on and he had to start just being in regular tag matches, well, he couldn't be unstoppable in tag matches, so he had to get hurt. Yeah, commentary has to tone it down. You want to say that the dude's a menace to society, that's fine, but you can't act like he's untouchable, because obviously he is. And last week he was getting beat up by Apollo Crews and Andrade LA Knight. So it's like, all right, calm down. If we're gonna make the guy human, then make him human. So I do feel you. I do feel you there, Jamie. Monster Jam Brawny, I can't believe the Usos are still in WWE. I thought they'd be like Damian Sandow, but no. They just got more annoying as time went on, in my opinion. I thought you were about to say, I can't believe they made it. I had my doubts, but the Usos, I'm so happy 14 years in, but you're like, nope, they're annoying. I hate them. I disagree with you. I love the Usos. They're actually probably my second favorite team of all time. Dudleys are my favorite, but I love the Usos. So I'm sorry that you've had to put up with a team that you found so annoying for the last 14 years. I'm glad they're here, but Monster Jam Brawny, we don't see eye to eye on the Usos, but that's okay. Shivish from India. A hot take, Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley is going to happen at WrestleMania. I could see it happening. I want it to happen. I thought it was going to happen. They were teasing it in December. However, I think the Dark Queen Charlotte Flair is coming back, and Charlotte versus Rhea, match 3 of their WrestleMania trilogy. That's what I really think is going to happen. And it sucks because I would like for Io to get the rub, but nah, I think Io's going to be like LA Knight last year, where she's just at that cusp of finally fully being a main event player, and then everybody returns. Becky Lynch returns, Charlotte Flair returns, and it's just like, oh, looks like we're too stacked in the main event scene. So Io, have fun with the mid card, and I don't want that to happen, but I think that's what's going to happen. Number 3, will The Rock be there at Netflix Raw? He's advertised to be there. I think he'll be there, but there's no guarantees that he'll be there. But if I had to put money on it, I'd say yes, but I don't win bets a lot, so, And then acknowledge the tribal chop. Yes, acknowledge me like I acknowledge all of you fine and great people out there. One more to go. We got Negligence. The crowd doing yeah, and I love you solo were some of the best things we got to see tonight. Glad to see the new Bloodline still got over despite not having many promos. Yeah, they actually didn't have promos. I thought about this for a while. Why didn't they get over as much as the old Bloodline did, the OG Bloodline did? Well, for one, everybody's established in the OG Bloodline. We already kind of knew who the Usos were. We already kind of knew who Roman was. We already kind of knew who Sammy was. But also, they had backstage promos. Solo Sikoa, he doesn't really get backstage promos. Yeah, he has those like vignettes of him just talking to the camera, a talking head saying, I'm going to beat you, Roman. But we don't get just interaction, and then we don't get a funny guy to bring out everybody's personality like Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn, he really brought out the Usos' personality. There was one time him and Roman Reigns were eating popcorn. That was amazing. And Sami Zayn was needed to get that kind of personality out in these backstage vignettes, and that's what the Bloodline needs. Plus, they don't have a wise man like Paul Heyman, but that can all be solved if Solo wins this week on Netflix. I really hope that A, Paul Heyman goes and he slowly starts to side and warm up to Solo Sikoa because he's forced to. He made the deal. And then B, we get some of these backstage promos. If we are going all in on Solo Sikoa by letting him beat Roman Reigns at Netflix, then we got to go all in, start giving him the promos, and start risking the fans actually liking Solo more than Roman. Because we need to see all of these characters flushed out. I would love to see more Tama Tonga, more Jacob Fatu. Give them a funny guy, and let's run with it. So there you have it, boys and girls. I appreciate every single one of you. Netflix Raw is happening. I don't know when this video will be up. Again, I have to run to work, and I had to refilm it. I'm an idiot. I didn't turn on my audio the last time, so I'm like, oh my god, I don't have time to do this. And then I didn't do the audio. I'm like, crap, I really don't have time now. But that said, that's my problem, not yours. Hope you enjoyed the hot takes. We'll see you for Netflix Raw live stream, and then I'll have videos in between. I'm a maniac. I can't not produce wrestling videos, so I'll see you very, very soon. Guys, girls, have a great day.